but he's in some pretty consistent games as well.
I mean, obviously there's been a big improvement over the last year in his game, and definitely seems a lot more confident. I thought he was tremendously nervous last year.
Confidence is a really great word. The little baby hook there, a nice move. And then LeBron on the sidelines, watch him here, letting everyone know, yeah, he learned that from me. He learned that from me. I taught him that one.
Enjoying this game, right?
Got that from Pops. Fourth quarter here, Bronny.
Look more magic than LeBron, to be honest.
Drives it inside for the tough finish. He finished with 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And despite the effort, the Clippers did get the win, 67-58. And we're in the middle of Summer League action, but also we just want to remind everyone, get your vacations in now, because we're 100 days away from opening night in the NBA at the 2025-26 season. Mark, you're going to go away for a little bit before we get there?
Yeah, I'm going to St. Thomas.
I'm going to go to Africa. See, we're going to take a little trip here. Get your trips in too. We've still got plenty of questions that remain unanswered. And I think that calls for a new edition of Tower of Power.
Oh.
That sounds like a job for Wendy's Tower of Power.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm palming the ball. Number 5, 4, 3, 2. Number 1.
I say it in a voice. Tower of Power.
Tower of Power. Starring Brian Windhorst.
Malika, I heard McMahon's going to Puerto Vallarta. He'll tell you all about it. All right. The 5 biggest questions. Number 5. The Warriors, will they take care of the rest of their business? I know some of their fans are frustrated at their lack of activity, but they could end up with 3 of the most significant free agents left on the board. Now, Jonathan Kuminga, restricted free agent, that's obviously a tension-filled situation, but there's a possibility they could get something done with him. And then there's Al Horford, who's probably the best veteran free agent on the market. He is lined up potentially to sign with the Warriors, and don't be surprised if they can get DeAnthony Melton back, a guy they traded last year after he had a knee injury.
Wait, Brian.
And number 4.
Dispatch from Kendrick Perkins. Will the Warriors finish business? I believe on this show there's another way that we could frame what you do with business.
Stand on business. Stand on business.
All right, and number 4, please continue.
Sorry, all right. Number 4, don't forget about De'Aaron Fox. Remember, he's got a big contract situation with the Spurs. They traded 3 first-round picks for him last year at the trade deadline, and you know they did that thinking they were going to get him under contract. Now, he cannot extend on a new deal until August 3rd, so it would come after that. They can give him up to $230 million over the next 4 years, adding to the deal, the 1 year he's got now. Will they be able to get him for less than that, or will they give him the full max? That's something that we're going to definitely keep an eye on. At number 3, the buyout we've been waiting for longer than any other buyout, and that's Bradley Beal from the Phoenix Suns. I mean, the idea that you would buy out $200 million players in the same summer with him and Damian Lillard is something I never thought I would ever see, but it's coming a little bit normalized. Beal would have a lot of suitors if he gets to the open market. He's going to have to take at least $14 million less for the buyout to be legal, which means he's going to want to recoup that money. The Clippers are a team that you would think would be a strong candidate for him. Eventually, I think that's going to get done, but I've been saying that for a week and a half. All right, and then we got a couple of extensions to pay attention to. Kevin Durant, he got traded to the Houston Rockets, in case you forgot. That was a huge deal, arguably the biggest move of the summer. But Durant has only 1 year left on his contract, and there's a big reason that the Rockets would want to get him locked into a deal that's longer. Now, he can sign for up to 2 years at about $120 million. That's huge money for a guy turning 37 before the start of the regular season. Would they try to find a deal that is for less than that as they try to fit in all their other big contracts? Keep an eye on that.
Can we get a drum roll?
Number 1, the biggest contract extension of the summer. You know who it's going to be, Luka Doncic. Everybody knows from the Lakers camp that August 2nd is the first day that he can sign it. I would not expect it to happen that early. There are various reasons why the timeline could be pushed to September. Don't react negatively, Lakers fans, if you don't see a deal right away. He's playing for the Slovenian national team. Also, it behooves him probably to take a 3-year contract extension. The Lakers can offer 4 and 230, but it makes sense for him to take a 3-year extension for various long-term reasons. But anything that he would sign would be terrific for the Lakers. They're going to obviously make that their offseason priority.
This is important. Can you just underscore this for us? You said don't freak out, which, you know, is easier said than done when it comes to all of us NBA fans. Don't freak out if August 2nd comes and goes and you don't see something. Can you just explain?
Yeah, so he's playing for the Slovenian national team at the European Championships, frequently called Eurobasket, which is one of the most valuable tournament for the Europeans outside the Olympics. And he won the Eurobasket for Slovenia earlier in his career, probably the greatest moment of his career. They play 6 exhibition games leading up to the start on August 27th, and then they could go as late as September 14th, which means he may not be back into the U.S. if the Slovenians get all the way to the end until late September. And, McMahon will tell you that in the past, when he's been playing for the national team, he has not done NBA business, including NBA contracts. So he could certainly pledge his intention to sign with the Lakers, but do not freak out if you do not hear from Luka contractually until September.
Yeah, and look, the reason it's an August 2nd extension date is because he waited until after the Olympics to sign his previous contract for the Mavericks, even though that deal was a mere formality. He was asked at his exit interviews that year about, hey, what do you think of maybe signing that Supermax? And he laughed and said, you know what I'm going to do. This is not a mere formality. This is the first time that Luka Doncic has really had a decision to make in terms of the contract. There is no Supermax eligibility. That blew up when the Mavericks shanked him in the back and shipped him to L.A. That's just a simple fact of the matter. And look,
one way to put it.
It's the honest way to put it. It's certainly the way that he felt about it. This will be an indication of what kind of faith that Luka Doncic has in that Lakers front office. And again, it's not about when it's signed. If he wants to wait until after Eurobasket, that's fine. But if it's not signed heading into the season, that will loom like a black cloud over the Lakers this season.
Because anytime there would be a 3-game losing streak, it already would be the lead of our show or SportsCenter, but it would come under even more scrutiny if it's, well, what is this going to mean for Luka's future, Mark?
Yeah, no, I was around when KD was going through that every day.
Which time?
Well, the Golden State thing. But with Luka, this is kind of like a cool European tour right now. He's in great shape. He's changed his diet. He's obviously in Slovenia getting ready for the national team, but he was just in Greece.
That looks like a good time.
Hanging out with Jordan. I'm sure the turn-up was outstanding in Athens, Greece. And then,
Did you say the turn out or the turn up?
The turn up.
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Trae Young wasn't there. He's in Summer League trying to get his contract situation together. Another thing to look out for. But I think for Luka, who plays August 28th against Poland, this is a summer where I think is going to set the tone for the rest of his career.
Can you say a little bit more about that, Tim, in terms of this is the first real contract decision that Luka's had to make in his career so far?
Right. So, look, coming off of his rookie deal, like guys sign rookie extensions. Do you want to take a Supermax or do you want to take a qualifying offer or, go into restricted free agency? That's not a difficult decision. Now, there was a time in Dallas, specifically, especially coming off that season when they had to tank to keep the top 10 protected pick, when he felt like, uh-oh, could this reach a danger zone? But it didn't. They made several moves. The chemistry clicked with Kyrie. They went to the finals, and Luka couldn't wait to sign the Supermax contract this summer. Obviously, circumstances changed drastically, but hey, the Lakers are, they're trying to make it his team, but he did not grow up with this franchise. Again, they don't have the massive financial advantages of saying, hey, we can pay you hundreds of millions, 9 figures more than anybody else. So this will be the first time in Luka's career where it wasn't really an obvious
foregone
decision.
conclusion.
But is he a saint in all this? I know you said the Mavericks stabbed him in the back, but does he have to be accountable for anything that led to the trade?
I think he has to be accountable for 34, 10, and 9 and taking a team in the finals the months before.
That's not what I asked.
Luka's
is he a saint?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
No, Luka's conditioning has been a problem throughout the course of his career. He's clearly doing something about that this summer. The Revenge Bod tour is on. There's no question about that. Look, Luka's not a saint, but again, the man took him to the finals months before. But forget that. That business is done. Let's focus on the business that Luka has in front of him this summer.
I don't think it's time to litigate sainthood, but it is time to litigate a contract here for Luka Doncic. And the Lakers clearly want him to be their next face of a franchise. And by the way, nobody is saying that he is not going to sign this contract. We're just talking about the date in which it could be signed. He does have a decision to make, Brian. But can you just map out what it looks like? Let's say he doesn't sign a contract going into the season. Can you just map that out for us?
Well, there's 3 max contracts that NBA players, superstars, can sign. One that's worth 25% of the cap, 30% and 35%. Depends on years of service. The first one I call the fun max because almost everybody who's offered it signs it. It's no big deal, like Bontemps discussed.
Fun size.
I mean, like McMahon discussed a minute ago. Then there's the stress max. This happens when it's a player's second max contract. This is when players sometimes leave or are not really worth it. This is the stress max right now for Luka. The Lakers are a little bit stressed out about it. Then there's the legacy max. When you get the 35%, you're home free. Everything's going to be great. This is the stress max situation. So if he signs it, relief for the Lakers. They can spend a little bit of time looking at their roster over the next 2 or 3 years, making decisions that are not based on what's going to be best for us tomorrow. What are we going to present to Luka in 2026? We can think about what the team looks like in 27, 28, etc. If he doesn't sign it, he can be a free agent next summer when there's going to be 10+ teams with cap space. If he does not sign it, you will see teams begin to open up maneuvers to try to chase Luka. And every day that will go by when there's any sort of wobble with the Lakers, you mentioned a losing streak, or if they're in 7th place on December 5th or something like that, everything will be tied to the Luka contract, especially with LeBron on the last year of his contract as well. So the Lakers don't want that in their lives. They want the no stress max. That's what they're going to try to present to him on August 2nd.
Yeah, pick your fighter. That is what you pick your own adventure here. That's what we could be up for here with the Los Angeles Lakers if there's not a deal reached. Let's get it over to what went down in the WNBA last night. We had some good action, starting with the Minnesota Lynx in Wintrust Arena facing off against the Chicago Sky here. Nafisa Collier, nice little fadeaway jumper. And then Angel Reese with Nafisa all over her, drives in for the contested layup. Sky goes up by 7. So let's head to the third quarter here. Angel gets the rebound, launches the dime there to Rebecca Allen. The double-double queen. In the fourth quarter, Williams finds Collier, knocking down the 3. The Lynx get the win. 91-78. And then Alyssa Thomas and the Mercury facing the Valkyries in this tough matchup. We're going to pick it up in the fourth quarter. 15 seconds to go. Watch Salon here. What a set.
Hey.
Nails the three-pointer. And then 9 seconds to go here. Once again, it's Salon in clutch time, tying the game. But right here, game still tied. Alyssa Thomas with the pick and roll.
Come on, ref.
Gets fouled.
Come on, ref.
She can't believe it. Thomas would make one of her throws, taking the 1-point lead.
Come on, ref.
Valkyries.
Right.
Come on, ref.
Lee, you're trying to criticize Luka. You cry about refs more than he does.
With the win, the Mercury moved in the WNBA standings. You two are too much. The Valkyries, they're tied with the Aces for the 8th and final playoff spot. Caitlin Clark and the Fever, they sit at 6, but they're just a game and a half out from home court advantage in the first round. So let's now welcome in our WNBA insider, Alexa Philippou, who's live at TD Garden. That's right. It's just the second WNBA game in the building to accommodate for the massive crowds for tonight's Fever-Sun matchup. These two teams, they've got a little bit of history. I was in the building in Indianapolis when there was a little bit of some fighting to end the game there, some criticizing the referees. What are you expecting tonight here, Alexa?
Yeah, Malika, well, both teams really downplayed what happened that last month when things got a little testy between both squads. Coach Rashid Mezian said, look, that game's in the past. We're moving on. Both teams are looking to try and finish strong going into the All-Star break. But there's also a lot of excitement and anticipation, really, going into what you were saying before. Again, the second game ever to be held in this building for the WNBA. I was actually at this game last year when the Sun were hosting the Los Angeles Sparks, and it was an incredible environment. There was 19,000 people. It was a sellout. There was Let's Go Sun chants, which is pretty cool to see, given that we're still, quite a ways away from the Suns' home base in Uncasville. But I think tonight it's really going to be elevated to a whole nother level. Olivia Nelson-Ododa played in both that game last year and in this game, obviously, this year. And she was saying that she thought last year was a little bit more nerve-wracking for the team because it was the first time ever playing in this building. This year it might be a little bit more intense, though, because of the opponent. And Tina Charles actually said something that was pretty funny. She said, we're actually a little we're prepared if there's more Caitlin Clark fans here to see if the Fever come to town than Sun fans. So we'll have to see how it pans out.
Right. I mean, usually, Alexa, I'm someone who is POMO. I am proud of missing out. For this game, I have FOMO. I wish I was there to see this environment because it's going to be electric. It's going to be awesome. Hey, before we let you go, some news that came down today. Kayla McBride from the Minnesota Lynx will replace Ryan Howard, who is dealing with a knee injury in this year's All-Star game. Also, the skills and three-point contest participants, they were just released. So I want to just take a look at this together. And as we're looking at this list, what stands out to you? Also, Caitlin Clark hitting some half-court shots, but hopefully we can show you that list here coming up. Ah, there it is. Yeah, what are you looking at when you see this?
I mean, it has to start with Caitlin Clark, right? This is the most anticipated debut for a player having in a three-point contest that we've seen probably in quite some time. Of course, she has not shot particularly well so far this season, in large part probably due to those injuries that she's been dealing with. But we know that she really cared for her first three-point contest to be in front of those Indy home fans. She will be able to do that. So I think that was a huge win for fans when they saw that in the announcement. But also, it's a really stacked lineup if we go down the list. Alicia Gray, obviously, the defending champion of both the skills contest and the three-point contest of this whole group. She's actually leading the league, or leading the group in three-point shooting this season. Sabrina Ionescu, obviously those 37 points she scored in the three-point contest 2 years ago. That was an unbelievable performance. And then I would not want to have to go up against Kelsey Plum. She's a tough competitor. Sonia Citron, an incredible rookie player. So I'm really excited for this. I think they did a great job with these players, and it's going to be one for the books.
Yeah, if they do as nearly as good of a job as you do with that concentration over the PA announcer, then we are in for a real treat in this three-point contest. Alexa, thank you so very much. We'll be seeing you coming up here soon on NBA Today. We do have a little bit more in W News before we head to break. The league announced the name of the Portland expansion team, the Portland Fire. Or should I say welcome back, Portland Fire, to the league. Of course, it's the name that the Portland franchise had from 2000 to 2000.
That nickname aged well, though, didn't it?
Yeah,
Fire.
Shout out to the Pacific Northwest, the Portland Fire. They are back. Our next WNBA game, it's tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Caitlin Clark.